That was a collection of Forsaken clips which I believe perfectly encapsulate how it feels to play Guest, especially that last one, God. Guest isn't exactly the best Sentinel, but that's okay. Most people don't realize this until they play Guest for an extended period of time, but Guest, above all else, is a tank. Just because he has stunning capabilities doesn't mean you shouldn't do your job while your block is on cooldown. Oh, and if you haven't realized yet, this video is heavily inspired by Lazy Roblox content. If you don't know who that is, I'll have a link in the description. I seriously suggest you check his channel out. Anyway, Guest is in my opinion one of the coolest survivals available in Forsaken. His kit, which I talk about later in the video, is one of the most interesting concepts I think I've seen in any sort of game, not just on Roblox. Being able to throw heads with a killer is honestly so cool. Now obviously there are times where you completely screw up and die, but when you do good, you do good. Anyway, without further ado, let's dive into how it feels to play Guest.
I can fucking play skin the potion by accident.
Sure. Guys, shout out to CoolStickBad227 who wants to be in the video. Shout out to him.
Yo!
He's the goat.
Yo, Cool Stick Man!
In this clip, I'd like to showcase how playing this Guest not only needs you to cooperate with your team, but also needs you not to be overconfident. I start off the match doing generators while the Sentinels battle with John Doe. I notice our Guest is booted heavily and is practically one tap, while Shedletsky is around 3 shots from death, trying to juke John Doe. He's doing a pretty terrible job at it, so I decide to come down and try to help however I can. Then there are 2-time rushes in for a face stab, which is actually ideal versus John Doe, as slowness and helpless are way better than the 2-second stun. You see, John Doe has this feature where whenever he's stunned by a Sentinel, his stun time is reduced to 2 seconds and gains speed 1 for around 3 seconds. Our Guest dies because, well, he stood still like a dumbass, and our Shedletsky eats chicken in front of the killer. Why? While our Shedletsky is getting his back blown out by John Doe, another one of our Guests rushes in only to smack his head against the wall. Truly, we are Forsaken. This does actually somehow distract John Doe, who decides to go for said Guest, letting Shedletsky live. I notice our Guest is completely fumbling, and so I wait a few seconds and make my move. Easy tap. And then our Shedletsky decides to also stab John Doe, which by the way doesn't stun him further. It's just a waste. And guess what? That gets him killed. I try to save our Shedletsky again, only for Guest's higher hit register to just not work, and as I mentioned before, Shedletsky dies. Guest's main gimmick is being able to tank damage for others, having higher hit register, meaning he's prioritized over other survivors with hit. This does not apply to Jason's M1s, which have multi-hit. Guest's block adds onto that, allowing him to negate all damage taken and unlock his punch move, which usually stuns the killer for 1 second. However, if you block a killer's attack and immediately punch back, it counts as a parry, which is a whopping 3.75 seconds of stun. After a bit of nothing going on, John Doe finally decides it's time for me to die. Though, I manage to juke every single attack he sends at me, only for me to fumble my block.
Embarrassing!
Luckily, our TAF had already set up 3 TAFs? Luckily, our TAF had already set up 3 traps, which let me escape. After chasing our TAF for a moment, John Doe decides to go for me again. I managed to juke his attacks while our TAF sets up another tripwire, and then I end up hitting one of the nastiest parries I could get. This is why cooperation is key. Cooperating with your Guest not only lets him practically bully the killer, but it also lets him keep you alive. Seriously, all you gotta do is just run into your Guest, and everything's gonna be okay. If they're competent. Another one of our Guests rushes in only to smack his head against the wall. Truly, we are Forsaken. And also if you're lucky, because sometimes it just doesn't work. No! I forgot to click. I actually genuinely. Dude, serious, dude. I scoured the map for medkits only to find nothing, while John Doe was busy trying to murder our TAF. As soon as I realized this, I rush over to TAF and distract John Doe, who was obviously very annoyed at me. He goes for our TAF again, and I decide it's about time he takes another spin kick from the cranium. And then our 2-time makes the same mistake while Shedletsky did. that, but they run into the piranhas, meaning they now have bleed as well. And just when I thought we'd win, I get cocky and emote, only for John Doe to somehow clutch at the last second. Here, let me just show you my exact reaction to that. What?! My dumbass wastes too much stamina instead of managing it, and being panicked now, I completely fumbled. John Doe knew I'd go for the parry and punished accordingly. And then I get Bluetoothed. Though, thanks to me annoying the shit out of that John Doe and distracting him practically the entire match, we actually end up moving around. In this clip, I'd like to showcase guest taps, as well as what I like to do in order to make the killers hit me more recklessly. By the way, take a shot each time I say walk speed override. Actually don't, cause liver poisoning. The round starts off pretty chill with me squirting around with the map split physics, until one of our 2-times is brought to jump like a cool kid. I charge in order to try and stop it, but he uses walk speed override, and as such I smack my shit against the pavement. 2-time is completely failing to juke cool kid as I try to run over and help. 2-time uses their ritual, which would be a completely stupid move, but luckily, not only am I there to block the attack, but our other 2-time also runs it the same. I do accidentally waste my punch, but it's whatever. I tank a hit for the 2-time, but they just walk away from me, even though I could tank like 3 more. And they obviously die. Cool Kid decides he didn't like getting his skull caved in by my leg and chases me, only to miss his walk speed over. And here it is, my special technique of sorts. Just laugh at them. Each time they fail ever so slightly, each time you juke them, just laugh. Chances are they'll get really pissed and hit you without thinking twice. And like I said, Cool Kid hits me without thinking and gets smacked in the head. My GOAT, N7, draws me off a medkit, but I realize Cool Kid is just gonna walk speed override me. Then I start using my medkit. However, I'm not planning on actually healing. Instead, I cancel my medkit by just unequipping it, and give Cool Kid permanent brain damage. Cool Kid decides he had enough of me and runs over to his dad to tell him. I use this opportunity to heal up in order to tank more for my team, hopefully. I laugh at the noob because yes, and make my
Owing,
my Oni!
owing, I'm owing, oh, my Oni, oh.
I laugh at the noob because yes, and make my way over to Cool Kid, who lands a walk speed override on 2-time. Not long after, he gets lobotomized. I do completely miss my charge, which makes me a little disappointed. 2-time is completely juking him, even going for a stab, but gets hit by a walk speed override. Luckily, they had their second life. I decide to laugh at Cool Kid to try and piss him off again. But then N7 runs into him for no reason and gets hit by a walk speed override. Jeez, this script has like the words walk speed override 50 times in it. The N7 manages to juke Cool Kid for a bit, or 2-time even going for a backstab, but he still refuses to get help by me. I tank a hit which would have hit him and On's clone. I do end up following him, which leads to him being found by the killer, and he gets killed by a walk speed override. Classic. I take that personally and decide to take Cool Kid on myself. He chases me for a bit, missing all of his punches, until he managed to land a walk speed override on me. It's honestly better that I tanked it here, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to parry him. One of our teammates finishes a generator, which gives him 4 less seconds to chase me, leading to Cool Kid losing the round. Oh, and I got him to half HP by just punching the shit out of him. Isn't that fun? And that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed it. It's my first time ever actually putting a lot of effort into the content I make, and I do know it was certainly not the best piece of media out there. I'd like to thank one of my friends, Trim, for helping me get that 1x1 clip, and for just overall helping me push through the project. If you liked the video, well, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, or whatever, and I'll see you in my next upload, which will likely be another How It Feels video. Feel free to suggest which character you'd like to see next in the comments. Oh, and if you're wondering why my voice sounds weird, I've been having trouble with my mic, and I have a stuffy nose. Anyway, goodbye.